The new diplomatic impetus on Syria is obvious, but its effectiveness remains uncertain. Following their meeting in Moscow 2 weeks ago, John Kerry and Sergey Lavrov have met again, this time in Laos, but details are elusive. The plan is thought to include collaboration on military targeting, so only al-Nusra Front and ISIL fighters are hit by airstrikes. But the US Secretary of State says it'll be somewhere in early August before that's confirmed.
In simple terms, what everybody knows we're trying to do is strengthen the cessation of hostilities, provide a framework which allows us to actually get to the table and have a real negotiation and try to move forward here. And we had a good meeting today, but we have more homework coming out of today's meeting. And we're going to do it and do it quietly.
In Geneva on Tuesday, the UN Special Envoy STAFFAN de MISTURA and his Russian counterpart Gennady Gatilov were already deep in conversation when they arrived at UN Meeting Room 10 for their own closed-door discussions on the Syrian crisis. The American Special Envoy Michael Ratney arrived shortly afterward, tapping intently on his smartphone. Afterwards, it was de Mistura alone who gave a cautious progress report.
Our aim, and let me say it very clearly, is to proceed with the third round of intra-Syrian talks towards the end of August. Meanwhile, we hope that concrete progress on the Lavrov understanding will take visibly place. This will indeed create the right atmosphere, both on the ground and for the intra-Syrian talks.
The atmosphere on the ground is about as desperate as it has ever been. Renewed fighting around Aleppo and Damascus was on the agenda of the Special Envoy's talks and injects additional urgency to the need for a solution.
We don't really see any progress on the ground. I saw Mr. de Mistura was so uncomfortable today in his press conference. He was very vague in his answers to the media and questions that have been asked during the press conference. We just hear intentions, homeworks, some progress. All what they're talking about is fighting al-Nusra and fighting Daesh, whereas there are no talks about the political transition.
STAFFAN de Mistura's assessment is that the onus now rests on the technical delegations of both Russia and the United States to do their homework. The Kerry-Lavrov negotiations will only be regarded as fruitful, he says, if they lead to positive, visible differences on the ground. Paul Brennan, Al Jazeera, at the UN in Geneva.